Skateboarding has changed my life. I know it sounds like such a cliche thing to say, but it honestly, truly has. Starting from the great people I have met from skating, all the way to just the overall feeling of escape you get when you set foot on a board, when you roll away from that trick. If it wasn't for skating, I would either be still playing sports or out with the wrong people, breaking the law and doing drugs. 80% of my friends who I grew up skating with just completely lost interest. I wish I could keep them skating, but you can't force people to do it. That's one of the many great things about skateboarding, the freedom. No rules, no specific time, no coaches. You get to do it whenever you want, wherever you want. You can do it by yourself or with a group of friends. You can go to your local skate park a few blocks down, or you can stack a few tricks on that curb you waxed outside of your house. My dad has always been 100% supportive of skateboarding. He was the first person to start taking me to skate parks when I was about 7 years old. Although I couldn't do anything except for get in the other skaters' way, I had fun rolling around the skate park. My mom was pretty supportive of skating as well up until it started getting in the way of school. She had always wanted me to be a basketball or football player. She eventually grew to support skating again in the future. When I knew I wanted to start progressing in skateboarding, I did everything I possibly could at the time. I was just like any other kid. I would watch tutorials on YouTube on how to ollie, kickflip, pop shove it, etc. Even getting my dad to ask the other skaters around the skate park how to get my ollies off the ground. I remember going in my backyard at my grandma's house and lying down broomsticks and the water hose, just trying my best to ollie over them. I quit skating several times, every time for at least a year. The first time was simply because I couldn't do any tricks and didn't see the point anymore. A couple years later, I got back into it. This time I had some tricks in my bag. Kick flips, pop shove-its, varial flips. I felt like I was at the top of the world, until I lost interest yet again. This time, it was because I had nobody to skate with. I had no friends that skated, no family members that skated. I was on my own, until I got a new next door neighbor. His name was Brandon. We were both about 11 years old. Me and him would skate all the time. I was officially back on the grind. I was learning heel flips, fakie flips, board slides, until it came time for football practice. I hated football all because it interfered with skateboarding. But I pushed through. We eventually moved houses, and I once again tossed my skateboard in the back of the closet and didn't touch it for a year. One day during the summer of 6th grade, I was out messing around with a few of my friends. One of them had a skateboard. He let me use his board, and next thing you know, I was doing kickflips and heel flips right in front of them. They thought it was the coolest thing, so I ran to my house and grabbed my skateboard. From that day forward, I was skating harder than ever before. I started filming more of my tricks and posting them on YouTube. Soon after that, Piru Skate Park was built, which is where I was living at the time. I had got more of my friends to start skating, and once the new park opened, so many more people were skating. It was crazy. Now, while I'm making all of this seem like all smiles and good times, there was also the bad days. Everyone has those days where every little thing starts getting to their head, whether it be not being able to land a basic trick or just letting the heat get to you. I had a ton of those bad days and still do, but never once did I let those days get to me to the point where I gave up. I eventually grew love for creating YouTube videos, since I always loved watching them. I started doing late tricks around 2015. I think that's what really caught people's attention. They weren't tricks you see all the time like your average tray flip or kickflip, and they were fun. Learning new tricks had always been one of the funnest parts of skating for me. One of my most common ways of getting myself to commit to a trick is telling myself in my head, what's the point of even trying this trick if I'm not going to commit? That's truly the only way you're going to roll away. I dropped my first street part in 2016 and couldn't have been more proud of it. Some more time passed and I started meeting so many new people that I never would have met if it weren't for skateboarding. As of right now, I am 16 years old and am still in love with skateboarding and creating videos, and I hope it stays that way for a very long time. It really did change my life. I hope this video inspired you even just a little bit to go out and do what you love. One day you'll be too old to skate and you'll either be thinking back on all the great things you accomplished or looking back with regret and thinking about what you could have done differently. After all, you only get one life. Might as well make the most of it.